We are recording. This is Dan's office hours. Looking at and how exactly sharding works, and my conclusion is that's not fully determined yet, but there's some good articles on it that yes. And then we're looking at Dan's presentation.
Yeah, actually, what am I doing here? So Mike Stay has written this. Let's see, got it here. It's really about 500 lines of Erlang to deal with cross shard transfers. And I don't understand it very well, but I offered to write. Well, I thought about writing tests, so I ended up writing some tests. I've tested about 1% of it so far, but I couldn't, because I couldn't figure out which end was up. And yesterday he went over it, so now I might know which end is up. So
sweet.
We could look at that a little bit, but I think this is a little bit prepared for an audience. So it's F11. Ooh, look at that. All right, RChain API, I don't know if that's a good name, but that's the one I guess Josh picked and I haven't tried to change it. So it was March when Kenny Rowe opened the port trust metric to Erlang ticket. He and I were on the phone when he did it, I think. Anyway. Okay, so the first step in the social protocol of the trust thing is one person certifies another. I, Dan Connolly, certify Bob at Turnier level. This is familiar to everybody on the call, right? Okay, Jim's muted. But David, you're familiar with this?
Yes, I've gone through the slides here.
Oh, no, but I meant the trust metric protocol, certifying people.
Yes, I'm familiar.
This is the avocado.
Yes.
Avocado. What is it called?
Advogado, anyway.
Advogado.
Yes.
And it's a attack resistant trust certification algorithm.
Right. Okay. And if you're writing a web UI, you probably end up with data like this.
But then I was thinking that JSON is not yet, you can't use JSON currently with the gRPC.
Well, that's what I'm going to cover in the next few slides.
Okay.
All right. Well, then there's a question of how do you do transactions at all on RChain? And so the July 11 demo, there was this Genesis block demo by Michael Birch that put a lot of the pieces together. And he showed generating a signature offline and then having an on-track contract called basicwallet.ro check the signatures. And so you can see crypto verify there. And all right. So exactly what bytes do you sign? In this case, the signature is going to cover this nonce, an amount, and a return channel. But that's not a sequence of bytes. That's a list of 3 things, right? And if you're going to sign something, it has to be a sequence of bytes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you serialize Erlang data? If you have that, well, the first part of the underlying stuff, the list, how do you turn it into a sequence of bytes? So RChain nodes communicate using Casper message.protocol. It's a gRPC protocol, and gRPC uses protobuf as a serialization. So if you got data structures, they've got a way to turn it into bytes to send it over the wire. And Casper message uses data types from row types.proto. So then there's a question of how do I turn my JSON into row types? And one of the papers in the RChain space is this mobile process calculator for programming the blockchain. And they've got this thing that says, we detail a direct representation of JSON into a fragment of the Rolang syntax. And then they've got this diagram. And this is presented as a grammar, which is the way Greg often does things, and the interpretation function at the bottom. But it's okay if that's all Greek at this point. Although it's got pieces we would be familiar with, arrays and objects and stuff from JSON. All right, so on the right-hand side of the diagram corresponds to the stuff in the row types.proto. So the P on the right corresponds to a par on the left. So it's going to have some sends and some receives and some news and some expers. For this, for today's exercise, all I'm going to use is new sends and expers. And then JSON.
You lost me a little on that last one. If you want, if we can understand what we're saying, what it is we're seeing here. This is this message par.
Yeah, so protobuf serialization, you write a sort of a schema or whatever. This is declaring a data structure. And repeated just means it has 0 or more of these sends and 0 or more receives, 0 more news, 0 more expers. So that's kind of like saying a P is going to have, well, this par thing is actually stands for lots of these in parallel, lots of these P's in parallel. So that's kind of implicit. But a for is a receive, right?
And this syntax that we're looking at is part of the protobufs protocol, or?
That's correct. So.
Okay, I was just thinking of serializing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just.
What's the back key comment? Here we go. Right. So xbang p is a send, and a for is a receive, and it doesn't show new over here. And expers are things like arrays and stuff like that. Expressions. Okay, so my function to convert JSON to row core, I thought it was called rchaun while I was writing it. I got to fix the misnomer there. So it's got a little function at the top that just says if you have one expression that is usually in the form of a key and a value, basically it's the type and the value. That probably should be TV. Anyway, if you just have one expression, I'm going to turn it into a par by making it an object whose expers is a list of that one thing. We'll see. It'll be more clear in a little bit. And then if you have an array of items in JavaScript, got an array of items in JavaScript. Wow, this is unfortunate. Yeah, so you map over the items. How do I? It's just not going to show me that thing. No, that sucks. Anyway, so for each of the items, you basically recur, and I'll show you the recur thing in a little bit. So you convert each of the items, and then you stick it in a thing that says elist body. And then I'll show you what to do with an object with keys and values in a little bit, and how to recur in a little bit. I hope it makes sense that those are roughly the cases over there. So if you have an object with keys and values, this is this bit down here. So we're going to take the keys of the object. You have to sort them because that's the way the protobuf, well, protobuf doesn't sort them, but the Scala code that uses the protobuf sorts them. So if you want to get the right bytes out, I spent a lot of time pulling my hair out over that. So we're going to map each key, and the part over here, you send to a channel, and then this channel is going to be a quoted name and, well, a quoted par, and the par is just going to be a string. So this chan is a quote that has a string key. And then the overall thing is going to be a send with that as the channel, and then the data is going to be, recur on the value of the object K, or the object's K property. And then there's this fix LF thing that it's kind of a bug right now, but does that make any sense?
Yeah. So you're fixing line feeds temporarily there.
Close. Yeah. Okay. I should have had examples earlier in this presentation. I'll get to examples in a little bit. And then so here's the recur thing. If you got some data and it's a Boolean, you put G bool X and you wrap it in that X for one thing. If it's a number, they only handle 32-bit its at this point, but looks like that. A string looks like G underscore string. If it's an object, null goes to, this is the way the nil par is represented. If it's an array, we already talked about that, and otherwise it's a bunch of keys and values. And if it's some other kind of JavaScript object, then we bail out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, so is it clear now that we can put JavaScript into protobuf?
Yep. Well, basically, you're just following the Casper step, right? Doing it the same way. Yeah,
we can turn any kind of Rolang expression into protobuf because of rowtypes.proto, and we can turn any kind of JSON into Rolang because of this stuff. And that gets us from JSON to protobuf, right?
All right.
David, that was your question earlier. I just want to make sure you're satisfied by the answer.
Okay. Now, recur it's used to check. It's used to check for the type. This function recur is used to check for the type, right?
Well, yeah. The overall algorithm is recursive, right? If you've got an array of things, each one of the things inside there needs to be converted. So this is what we do in the recursive case. Maybe the examples will make it a little more clear. Although I don't have any examples that do that in the presentation. I do have one in the test suite.
If you consider an array of things, every recur will handle the type of each element of the array.
Yeah, that's just off the slide here.
Okay.
Yeah, this says items map recur. And then inside the keys and values, you see the recur right here.
Yeah, we lost David. Having some issues.
I wonder if it saves any bandwidth for me to turn off my video. I never know for sure.
Yeah. So if we have time, I'd like to figure out how to run a contract that I put on
Okay.
that I deployed to master, or is it master? Whatever it is. Let me see if it's still running. What? Did it die? Nope, it's running.
All right. Should I keep going on this, or should we divert?
We're just giving David some time to come back.
Right. Okay.
I should go. Go ahead.
All right. So let's see if it becomes more clear with some examples. Now, the fix LF stuff is because there's a part of the PAR structure called locally free, and it has to be full. It has to be full of 8 bytes. The way the Scala code is written now, they've basically acknowledged that it's a bug and invited me to fix it, but I haven't gotten around to that. So you have to stick 8 bytes on the end of these things in lots of cases, and that's what fix LF does. It's locally free. Okay, so back to our trust metric thing. Now that we've got JSON into Rolang, so I've got this, the policy for the trust metric is that only RChain cooperative members are authorized. The mechanism is that there's this member role in Discord that we can get at through OAuth 2. And so I'm making this gateway called game session is part of the gateway anyway. Okay, so smart contracts are like multiplayer games. Is anybody familiar with that?
Yes, of course.
All right. So the gateway hosts games that each with its own key pair. It's got a private key for every game. An OAuth session becomes participation in the game. So when you run through the OAuth dance, you get a seat at the table playing the game. And the gateway signs moves on behalf of players. You might recall from the Birch demo that in order to put something on the chain usefully, you pretty much have to sign it. And since I was dealing with OAuth 2, when I first started doing this gRPC stuff, I thought, oh, the core team uses Scala, so I'll try that. I had done Python, and it was a little bit, you could tell that you were not using the same tools as the core team. So I thought about using Scala, but the OAuth 2 libraries are really not mature there, whereas it's kind of front side of one page in JavaScript. And then there's this capper thing, which is mostly a story for another day. That's how I do object persistence and capability security off-chain. And this is kind of the details of signature, and I think it's not cost-effective to go through that in detail. I'll just show the examples, and maybe you'll have questions at that point. So our JSON turned into this. So our JSON stuff was a list, and the first item in the list was a string, and strings are pretty easy. Second thing in the array was a string, and then the third thing in the array was a JavaScript object. And so here's the key to the object, and here's the value, and here's the key to the object, and here's the value, and here's the key, and here's the value, and here's the key, and here's the value. And so each of these items was one of the recursive cases, each item in the list, and then each of the values in here was invoked the recursive case. And then once you have this, you can get the protobuf serialization of it and sign it. You get the 64-byte value back. And then in on-chain, you take the structured data, and again, you turn it into bytes. and then you grab the signature, which when you're sticking it on chain, you do it in hex, but to turn it into bytes, you go there, and then you verify the signature. And if that pans out, then I'm going to go ahead and sign the move. The gateway is going to sign the move on behalf of the player. And another thing I've done is take MySQL events and turn it and do the same trick, although I haven't done the signing in this part. So, you know, you get an insert in JavaScript, turns into an insert in Erlang. And I've sort of flipped around, you know, what I want to do is, like, this is sending to the budget vote inside this URL. Erlang has URLs as a syntax. And then it really worked. And that's the end of the slides. So Jim, you wanted to do something with a contract?
Yeah, if we can. Just to be clear here, what you did here was you stored onto RChain a certification vote or a budget vote?
This example was a certification vote. This is Dan is voting for Charlie at rating 1.
Okay, so the contract will generate this output, give you back this value. How?
It's the gateway that generates this. The contract consumes this. Well, there's 2 levels of contract that consume it. One is the sort of, I haven't really written all the code, but this is the first part of the contract that just verifies the signature. And if the signature verifies, then the gateway contract is going to is going to turn around and say, look, this player really did make this move.
Okay, so we just have on the chain that this was done.
Right.
And if we want to read that back, we have to read the chain.
Yeah.
So, I can, I guess I can share my screen, which I will do.
While we're switching, David, did you have any things you wanted to talk about?
Yes, but let Jim finish.
Okay.
Yeah, this probably won't take very long. But I have this node running, and it's tied to master, and this has been running since Tuesday, still running. And actually, I did a couple.
Jim, this Bootstrap node that's been running, it means you haven't closed your the session of on robot.net.
That's true. I haven't closed it. The window's been open.
Okay.
It's Tuesday.
Okay.
I think it was Tuesday when I started this. In any case, when I started it,
what happens if you should hibernate your computer? It doesn't shut down too.
It does. What happens if I what?
If you should hibernate your computer, does the node shut down?
Oh, this is on robot.net. This is on.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know.
The question still applies, Jim. And in fact, if you disconnect that window, it probably would stop unless you've done no hup or unless you demonized it somehow.
Right. Yeah, it would stop. Right. Yeah, I haven't. It's been running. It's running continuously. And I didn't demonize it. Now, I did notice that our node is running when I reboot the computer, but I don't know where it's getting its parameters from.
There's a systemd unit file.
Yeah. I guess that would be the place to look. Yeah. Okay. So I deployed a contract here. I guess. Uh, yeah. It's a hello Jim Scarver that I deployed, and then I proposed a block, and I was successful. And now, what I would like to do is I would like to access the. I would like to run that contract. Or is the contract completely consumed? What happened to the contract?
Show us the contract.
It's hello world, basically. Where is it?
Well, if it doesn't leave any pending fours, any pending receives or pending sends, then yeah, it's all done.
It's all done. Okay. Where am I now?
So that first message, that's not a persistent receive, right? And none of the sends are persistent. And Jim's Carver. Oh, contract Jim's Carver. Yeah. Now that's out there, but nobody can access it because that's an unforgeable name, and that's the entire, and it can be only accessed within its scope, and you haven't sent it to anybody. So in theory, this could be garbage collected, but I'm not sure if the system is that smart. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I guess my thought is, just as a basic thing that I'm, a normal idea is to write a program, put it on RChain, and then run it.
Right. So you're supposed to register such things in the fullness of time. The registry's not there. In the meantime, you can use public names like strings or URLs. There's anything you want to access from off-chain, you basically have to, you're supposed to register it as the actual long-term architecture, but in the short term, you use a public name.
Okay. You want to tell me how to do that, or do you want to drive, or?
Well, change hello, take away the hello Jim's Carver on line 3, and on line 4, put quote marks around it. And an @ sign in front of it.
Take away the. Take away the whole new Jim Scarver, or just leave new.
You want to delete that word and the comma.
DF comma.
Right. And then where it says hello Jim's Carver on the next line,
Right.
put quotes around it with an @ in front of it. Quotes gives you a process, @ gives you a name.
Whoops.
Oops, quotes go, the @ goes on the front.
So the @ gives me a name.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're the channel, right?
Yeah.
And hello, Jim Scarver is the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. Seems like that flies away after I've seen it 20 times. Okay, so now I have this Jim Scarver. Now I have okay, so making this contract. The contract is Jim Scarver.
I was thinking Stan.
Can't hear you, David. I think we're losing you again.
Yes, I said I was thinking standard out is a reserved word in Rulang.
No,
How come you're using it for?
it's not a reserved. It's not a reserved word. You could change the word standard out to XYZ here, and it would still work.
Right. And
okay.
What's reserved is rho:(IO) stood out.
You said what's reserved is what?
rho:(IO) stood out.
Okay. Okay.
And this is sort of a way of asking for that thing, and the system might tell you no.
okay, so that's I can deploy this now.
Oh, sorry. The line. There's several more occurrences of hello, Jim Scarver.
Oh. So, oops.
Two more lines down. Oops. There's one occurrence.
And so I don't have hello, Jim Scarver. So I just take it out.
We're using this public name that's just a quoted string.
So put it. So I changed that to @ Jim Scarver.
Yep. Well, hello, Jim Scarver. Yes. Likewise, two lines down.
Oops.
I expect that to work.
Control-R, deploy.
And we should watch, you should get printed twice. Let's look at the log before it scrolls away over there. Oh, you got to propose it too, I guess.
Right. So do we see anything on the log when we propose it? No.
Well, you haven't proposed it yet, have you?
When we deploy it.
It went too fast for me.
Yeah.
I think we saw something, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so now what we
So the from flag to the N1's flag, what does it represent?
It might be the wallet that you're going to pay for the deployment with. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Not deploy, propose at this point, I believe, Jim.
oh, let me do it. I don't know why I always do that. Okay, so now we're going to propose the block.
switch windows real quick.
Whoa. And it died this time. What did I do?
Key not found, size equals 32. I think I've seen size equals 7 or something, and so there's a known bug around that. Like, if you, anyway.
The proposed worked fine before the changes. And we should try the original one. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Bummer. Let me, just for the heck of it, try again. Well, let's say we got more errors that time. Maybe the third is a charm. Okay. I'm going to get the latest and greatest version as it's been updated since Tuesday. And we were unable to get it to work correctly at the work study, right? Did we ever get it working correctly for I'm not sure. So
I'm looking in the node testing on pub RChain because I'm pretty sure. Oh, this thing I griped about is a bug. All right. Kelly Foster seems to sort of know the known bugs at this point, which is cool. Whoa, we got to scroll back way back. Let's see. Yeah, okay, core 777. Let me see if that's related to what you just did. Oh, I hate it when people use screenshots for text.
you want to share your screen?
Okay. So Kelly Foster is saying, yeah, that's a known bug. And I'm wondering if it's the known bug that's related to what Jim just did.
I think it's different. This one has to do with
Yeah, that was.
I think this was the bug we had last week, Tuesday. Tuesday collab session.
Oh, okay, maybe it's in a new tab. Yeah, okay, so this is closer. You just now it said 32 bits on Jim's screen, but that's closer anyway. Oh, he says clean up your temporary store, you know. I think it's actually called .r node, but I don't know. Anyway, apparently the existing LMDB data was corrupted.
That's interesting. I mean, it's been running continuously. But I should, if I'm going to start over, I need to get the current release and test against instead of range, test off the
Yeah.
was current.
So David, you had something you were interested to talk about?
Yeah, Jim, you made mention of community validator. So I would like you to say a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, um, the idea being that we have it has been suggested that we have co-op run validators. The question comes up is, do we want to have a centralized validator, or do we want to have a set a setup of validator pools where members stake the pools, and they're essentially community run. I mean, every pool, of course, can have its own management, and hopefully there would be more than one pool. I have a friend. Did you meet him, Stephen?
Yes, I missed it.
Yeah. He's an IT professional, and he was really lead of our team for deploying on the cloud our stuff. And he's, he's very competent. I was thinking, and he's got, some interest in helping to manage community nodes, and he certainly has the credentials to do that, at least guide it. And Karen has indicated an interest in community pools. But I pinged her on it. She hasn't answered. I don't know when she'll answer, but she may just be, she's interested in validating. And
at this point, a validator pool is quite a bit harder than just everybody running their own validator, because we'd have to write the pool software.
Well, we don't have to write the pool software. I mean,
Okay. Well, what's the difference between a validator pool and a shard?
A validator pool, our pool could validate the root shard, for example. Our validator pool could, validate any number of shards.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I think, the stuff we're running now is almost like running our own test nets, which is cool. And, I think we should run, or we can and should run our own test nets. That's a good thing. And we can actually run applications on those test nets. Of course, they're not going to be verified globally, but no reason we can't do that. The validator pools work as the point is that the members contribute staking, so that the co-op and the staking members in essence get some income from the validators.
So the alternative to writing some software is that one person manages a private key on behalf of lots of people. I guess that's doable.
Right. I mean, if we don't have multi-sig, um, right. So one trusted member would be, and then maybe parts of the key given to others as backup. But yeah, it would just be kept on a spreadsheet. Right? And you know, I guess there would be some issues of how big a pool, you know, do we want to trust with one person?
Right.
And which is why there can be multiple validator pools. It doesn't have to be just one.
Yeah, I guess I'm just having trouble seeing the motivation when it's somewhat straightforward to run a node. But I guess different strokes
You're
for
not going
different
to be a
folks.
validator on the network.
What's that?
You wouldn't be. You're not going to be a validator on the network.
Why not? I run the bonding contract. I bond myself. I'm a validator. What's the problem? I think that's my understanding of it.
It's a good question. As far as I understood it, you had to be. You had to go through this whole certification type process before you could become a validator.
Well, okay, that's to get into the Genesis block. But I sure hope new validators can come online after Genesis, or else this thing is not very decentralized.
Yeah, well, that's I guess a concern of mine. You know, I have not read validator contracts that have been made available this week.
Contracts in the sense of English prose?
Right. Yeah, English prose.
Were those like announced or something?
Greg announced at the meeting in a debrief that they were available in the legal section of GitHub.
Oh, okay. So they were announced.
Maybe we should look at them.
I took a brief look earlier in the week.
So you were.
My big question is, how does one get in a position to execute such a contract? Evidently, you have to wait for a call from Greg. So that seems kind of not fun, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, I have had a meeting, tentative meeting. Well, he suggested we meet early next week. He hasn't confirmed any particular time yet.
I'm going to have to take a bio break.
And, you know, I sort of wanted to know if the community was interested in running validator pools before I talked to Greg.
Right.
I mean, I'm interested in contributing to the pool. But, you know, in terms of day-to-day management of the system, I'm not really interested. What would it, you know, what's your interest in participating in the pool? You're just thinking you're going to run by yourself as your own validator rather than use a pool. That was a great option, but that's not what I want to do. You know, I may run validators, but I want somebody else to manage the infrastructure. But I got a machine here doing validating right now. Could be mining something, but I haven't been that interested. So what are you interested in doing, David? Programming applications on RChain?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Well, I want to get the GraphQL interface to RChain going so that we can run all our apps on RChain. Okay, you know, it's like we have to go from JSON to protocol buff, you know, to RChain, but in the GraphQL world, everything is JavaScript. You don't have any worries.
Then then there was something else I wanted to discuss with you. The documentation for this data phase is it's rather very okay, what was the word now?
Sketchy.
It's not good enough to be able, a lot of things I follow the instructions on building an application, so but it doesn't work. I just get this very funny error. I've gone through the forum, I've gone through the blog, and nothing seems to help.
Oh, well, show your screen. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Okay, so this is the error I got. Then
Whoa, okay, I didn't get a chance to look at that, but all right, keep going.
okay, then let me say. Okay, like I've done this before, but it still doesn't work. Now this one is I got this code, the code, I think I cloned the repository here. So
Okay, so in my experience, you install the Zetaface stuff and you edit 2 files and you're going. So let's look at the 2 files. First, can you show me doing a SQL query on your database to make sure your database is happy?
okay, yes, I've done the yes, this is the SQL query for the database for the 2 tables given in the instructions. This is for the first table.
Well, let's run a
and
query.
This is for the second table. So yes, I've done that already. So these are the 2 tables.
No, that's defining structure. Let's run a query. See where it says SQL, push the SQL button at the top. And type something like select star from course. Yeah, run that. Go. All right, well, it didn't fail. There's no records, but maybe that's okay.
Yeah, so I think the database is okay.
All right, so now try to run, okay, now let's look at your config.ini or conf.ini. And no password is correct?
Yes.
No password in the root user.
Yes, for my local host there, I don't think there's a password.
Well, you don't think so, or you know so?
I know so, I know so.
Okay. And the database name, okay. Because that's something, That could be the failure mode. Anyway, all right. So then, tables has an underscore there. Interesting. All right. So, and now look at index.php. Well, so do you have a directory called users Shanna?
No, so, okay, yes, I need to change this to my directory first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were just going to change the string to where the files are.
They're in different folders, so I want to copy it to the folder before doing that.
What is this thing doing? Taking forever to copy these files.
What are these files?
This is Zetaface, I think.
These are part of the interface files, yeah.
It's copying like 10 megabytes. I mean,
So this is the distribution directory?
yeah.
Yes.
That would take about a quarter of a second on my machine, I think. What is...
Okay, I don't have an idea why it's copying slow. It's usually faster than this.
Okay, all right.
So the first thing is, I think I need to enable this.
Not in my experience.
Okay, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I've never messed with any kind of web installer.
Okay, but from the instructions, I was told to do so. Yeah.
No. If you want my, expertise on this, then you can have it. Or if you want their instructions, you can have that.
Okay, I want your expertise.
Okay.
Okay, so I should leave the file just the way it is or delete it.
In my experience, I've never dealt with that file, so we're going to just follow our nose.
Okay, so.
Okay, so line 12 has to point to the right place. Oh, okay, you just had it. Okay, all right.
It's in the home directory.
Well, I think, it might need the full path, but maybe this is okay. All right. And then is your configuration file start with a tilde? That mine does not. Yeah. Okay. And then that looks kind of reasonable. That's worth a try. Okay. Maybe this is what you've got is newer than what I had. Yeah, you can change it to enabled, I guess. I wonder what that does. Okay, hang on. So this says undefined function MySQL connect. That suggests you don't have the MySQL PHP stuff installed.
The what? That suggests I don't have the what installed.
There's an extension to PHP that handles MySQL, and this suggests you don't have that installed.
I think I've been using.
Hi.
Are you familiar with XAMPP?
Yes.
There's a vague concept, yeah.
So, I think XAMPP comes with everything pre-installed.
Hey, Papa, I have a bag. Now I have a bag.
Where are the PHP modules? I don't know, might be lib, might be extras, I don't know.
Are you talking about the config files?
No, there has to be a piece of software in here that is, you know, machine code for handling MySQL.
I think I've never.
If you have to run PHP info, and that'll show us what is supported.
That's probably one way of doing it. If that XAMPP thing is any good, it'll have a GUI for doing this. Surely it's got a way to show you the PHP modules. PHP, there you go, browse PHP. Try browse PHP. Oh. I only know how to do this on Linux. You can look at, let's see. Well, wait a minute. If PHP MyAdmin is working, that just got to have the MySQL stuff, I would think. Oh, maybe I've got a clue here. There is something that in the, you might find in the index.html for RChain DBR. Something about, or it's in the config file, sorry. Right, driver equals MySQLi in the underscore database section. Look in the config, yeah, config.ini.example, conf.ini.example. There you go. Line 16.
Why are you beeping?
Yeah, see, I documented the same message you're just getting there.
Okay. Okay, driver MySQL. So where do I have to add this? Because I don't think I have, or do I have to create this file?
Well, no, you have a conf.ini file. We were looking at it. It was the one with the no password.
Okay, I was thinking I need a conf.ini.example.
Oh, no. Anyway. So like on line 14. In the database section, so perhaps line 14. Yeah, driver equals MySQLi. There you go. Save that and try that. What are you looking for?
Okay, I have two different folders, so that's I'm trying to make the change to the two different. Like I'm working on. I'm using one for test and one for. This is what I mean. I have two different.
Well, let's try the test one. Oh, switch back to the test one.
Yeah, so I was looking for the config file.
Yeah,
on the
reload this
test
page,
one.
please.
Okay. You mean this one?
Yeah.
I haven't made the change here already. I've just made the change on the
Oh,
other
I see.
on this one.
I see.
Yeah, so I was trying to make the change on this one.
Now
And I think this one doesn't have the config a conf.ini file.
Oh, you're not getting. It wouldn't do anything without one of those.
So let me copy from here and paste it there.
There. Couldn't even connect to the database without a conf.ini file, I would think. But anyway.
So here, I think we have it now here. And test. Yes. Still the same error.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at it.
Like you said, if it didn't have a comp.ini, it couldn't run. I mean, is it got the comp.ini in the wrong place?
I just added a conf.ini file.
Oh, let's confirm that anyway. Let's make a syntax error in conf.ini. Ah. Maybe it's not reading conf.ini. Oh, there we go. Let's see. No. Yeah, where is the conf.ini file? Or maybe the config file is named something different in the version you're using.
Yeah, the version I'm using, I think, is 2. Where did I get it?
Wouldn't that be in index.php? Or close that?
Index.php just says start the Zetaface stuff. Oh. That's different.
Index.php takes you to the installer page,
Well,
or it's supposed to take you to the installer page.
well, okay. Not in my. I mean, I guess I'm used to it after the installer has already run. But do you remember what index.php looked like when we started looking at this?
You said?
Do you remember what index.php looked like when we started talking today?
We haven't made any change to index.php.
And yet, do you remember? Well, you copied something on top of it, right?
No, it wasn't index.php. Remember, there are two different applications. One is test, and one is the other one that the index.php is different. On this one.
Okay, for the rest of our conversation, can we stick to one of these?
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay.
So let's stick to this one rather than the test.
Okay.
Now, the error I'm getting with this one is just displaying this. if you should go to a browser now, if I go to my browser, you just see the display application time.
Getting lag
Zeta
here.
Face did you use? What version did you use?
It's there in the repository you were looking at. Let's see.
What is the problem?
We don't know. We don't know how many problems there are. I use 2.1.3.
2.1.3. I think that's the same thing I'm using.
That's very surprising. Because there's no installer stuff in what I was using. Oh, yeah, there is.
Then, if I'm not mistaken, I think okay, in RChain DBR, the view is usually copied from here, right?
The view?
Like these are copied from here.
Well, no, the table stuff, those are all customizations. I don't know what you mean by copy.
Yes, that's what I mean is they are displays rather. Let me use that word. Like they load into the index.php file from here.
Well, yeah, the PHP software looks there, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at making some like the one I told you earlier, like making this instead of showing at the bottom. So instead of showing at the bottom here to open on a new window. So I was looking at where each stuff is loaded from.
Yeah, see, all that HTML is generated by the PHP.
Okay.
So where do you tell it which window to display it in?
Jimmy said?
So, well, the question is, where do you set what window to display it in? You want to change it to display it in a new tab, and it's already displayed somewhere. Must have told it where to display.
No, it's just that's how it works.
I think to make a change to it, if I could look for the name of the ID, the ID name, then I could go to the style.css and do on click target blank. That should take it to a new window.
Yeah, so it's a question of finding the relevant piece of PHP. Here's a,
Yeah, and
I found somebody else that made a Zetaface theme responsive. Might be nicer.
okay, then there's this theme I was looking at, I think G2.
I believe we're using G2.
Yes, this, but in G2 the navigation is at the side, not on top.
Oh, okay, right. I'm sorry, I got some other applications I use G2.
Okay. For instance, as the navigation is here, but in this one, the navigation is by the side here, and the logo is on top.
Yeah, I forget how to change it to G2.
I see we have some newcomers, Alan, and
Good morning.
Hey, Alan, it's evening here in Nigeria.
I know, and I think that Dan is going to be mad at me because I tell him that Saturday morning is my worst time, so I miss his office hours. But I'm here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah, this would ordinarily be the identity working group meeting time, but that group has sort of dwindled. And I know, Alan, you wanted to get together sometime today.
Yeah, actually, I had an important thing to discuss with you, and it's been resolved without us doing anything. So, I mean, it's all good. It's going to be all good.
Good, good. So is it time for some music?
Well,
I think that Dan's got a music collection. Dan, you want to play something?
what I want to do is try out this other theme.
Oh, that would be cool.
Is this a musical theme or a visual?
No, it's they're trying to change the theme of the bounty system
Oh my gosh.
so that instead of opening up below, it'll open in a new window or whatever. They're trying to futz with it, and apparently the Zetaface way to do that is not very clear.
You know, Jim, David, Dan, the biggest problem that I have with the Rewards app is that I can't type an issue number into the search box. I have to click advanced and type an issue number there. And I would think that if you guys could detect that there's just a simple 3-digit number, that you should just interpret that as an issue number by default.
Yeah, tell Steve Hanna. I didn't write that software, so.
Steve Hanna.
He's the guy who wrote the software that we're using.
Well, so you mean that when somebody types into the search box, there's not a way to see that it's been typed into?
Well, I could go in and find the relevant part of Steve Hanna's code, but I got better things to do with my time.
Well, maybe David or one of the other Colab people could do something like that.
And you can click right next to the word num.
Click next to the word num.
Shall I show you?
Sure.
I think David has to stop sharing his screen. I'm going to go over here to the help. search by issue number. The normal search box doesn't work. Click on the num header, a search box opens up, enter the number.
Okay, I heard what you said, but I didn't see what you did.
I didn't do anything. I was reading the documentation.
Okay.
Now I'm going to demonstrate. All right, if you click on the word num, it's going to sort by num. You have to click on this space right here, which is obviously the right thing to do, right?
Click on the word. So you're talking about a row header.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you click on the on the row header, and then you got a drop down. How cool is that?
Yeah. So you can do. I mean, this is the way I survive. So for example, I'm on the reward stuff, and I want to look at rewards for this month, and then you have to confusingly enter and in that format. But now you get the June rewards.
Sorry. I didn't see what you did because
Okay.
you're on my phone and the screen is small.
All right, once more with feeling. See, it says pay period in this column. Again, if I click on the words, it's going to sort. That's not what I want. I'm going to click on this space to the side of it.
Space to the side of it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then I have to enter the date in month, day, year format, and I hit enter. Now it's just the rewards for June, and if I want just the rewards for Alan.
So that's how I can get an invoice summary without getting the annoying message. You didn't type any dates, so we're giving you the dump, which is fine, by the way. It's not that bad.
Right. So yeah, you can prune it down to all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
So I went searching for ZetaFace theme because I think the way you're supposed to change the look and this feel of this thing, you're supposed to change the theme. And that sounds like hard work. So Google found me somebody that's already done this hard work. Unzip it into the modules directory. All right, so somebody remind me what the machine is called.
Robot.net. Robot.net.
Didn't it? I thought it had a name that had to do with, rewards test?
No. Once you go into robot.net, then you could navigate to the rewards test directory.
I think we might have made a synonym for it or something.
This also works, but
Yeah.
if you go into robot.net, you could navigate into the directory.
Yeah, well, this is more mnemonic for me. Okay.
I thought it was VAR.
Yeah. All right, so here we are in the modules directory. Okay, so it's gonna. I don't know what it's actually supposed to be called. Modules grappler. Oh, okay, same thing. So move ZetaFace to grappler. Grappler. All right. I don't know where you put the G2 stuff.
Dan, I don't know if you can think about two things at the same time, but while you're typing away, do you ever consider office hours at a different time? I know that the current time, your office hours are good for a lot of people.
Thursdays and Fridays I'm around generally.
You want to consider doing a shorter version of office hours then, or something like that? I mean,
Well, just book a meeting with me anytime.
okay.
So I'm not sure where I'm supposed to put the disabled G2.
David, do you have any idea where you're supposed to disable G2?
I think that should be added to the what do you call it again? The config.ini file.
Yeah, that's what. But which section?
Can you go back to the README on the GitHub? So I think you just need to add this disable-g2=1 to the config.ini file.
Yeah, where in the config.ini file? Do I put it in the ZetaFace installation section, in the modules section, and, you know?
Probably the module section.
Well, that's kind of interesting because he did not show it as in the module section.
Are the sections there just for visual indicators, or do they have semantic meaning?
They have semantics. I'm going to try it up here. We'll see what happens. We can probably find some documentation on that elsewhere too. And then what else was I supposed to do?
Put in every config in every section until it breaks.
Two menus. Visual.
Nobody thought that was funny.
Well, but it's quite a common technique. There's no joke about that. Anybody want to give odds on whether that's going to work?
I say the third try is the charm.
I would say
Is this?
I would say
Is this
I'll accept any odds. Oh, too late.
Okay, this is interesting. Can you check if this is responsive?
That was responsive there, wasn't it?
Yes, I think this is pretty cool.
I was looking for the search doodad. Oh, there's a search. I bet it has the same bug, though. Oh, no. Lose. At least it has a little indicator right there. Oh, it's doing a search on both of those things. Start over. Oh, that's sorting. Here's the search doodad. Oh, we don't have a 700, do we? Maybe that was the problem here. I'd be surprised if that got fixed. Yeah. How do I stop searching by that? Oh, I guess you just go here. So anyway, that's at least an icon that shows you that that's slightly more discoverable, right?
Slightly. Yeah, I guess that people could just, they see it and click it.
Now that one, do I have it? So this is prettier.
Yes, and I think it works quite well on the mobile because I'm checking it out on my mobile phone. Only that now it doesn't show full details.
David, you're breaking up again, and every time that happens, I bring up the issue of what is required in order for you to have the appropriate bandwidth connection.
That is when you click on issues to check on the issues, you can only see the title and part of the worker, and there's nowhere to. Like I said, can you hear me?
We can
I
now.
can hear you now, but you know, occasionally you should listen to the recordings. Occasionally, you just turn into this metallic soul of David kind of.
Yeah, and if you try to talk with him during that time, it's not going to work. Use chat; it'll get there. Anyway, go ahead, David.
Any idea what he says is missing? And is that on the mobile or everywhere?
I can maybe simulate the mobile.
Okay. I do really enjoy chatting. I think I'll try to talk.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, firstly, let me answer the question on mobile before going to the bandwidth. The first thing is now it shows the issue titles when you click on issues or budgets or rewards. It shows titles, but it doesn't show the label or the workers.
I see labels.
Those parts just shrink away.
Oh,
Yes,
I see.
If you try to reduce your window, if you reduce your window some more, yes, they just shrink away.
Yeah.
And even on mobile, it's worse because this window is still quite big.
Yeah, I mean, what would you want the whole? Because one record would take up the screen at that point. I mean, you do get that view if you go like this. But yeah, you can't do things like sort by label. Because
I think this is overall better than the previous one.
it's too bad there's no horizontal scroll. Aha! I found a horrible kludge. You see what I'm doing, David?
Yes, I can see that.
I guess there's no tab key on a mobile phone, is there?
Negatory.
How do you go to the next? Let's see. All right, we're not alone. Other people on the internet want to know this. Tab key that pops up besides the. Let's see if I go to my mobile web browser here. And hold on, let's try this actual rewards test.
And while you're typing, at various times you've mentioned that we could do direct SQL queries. Should we publicize the fact that people can do direct queries and give a simple method of doing that?
Well, they can't do them now. It's possible to change the system so they could.
No, I mean, like the glitch interface is a direct SQL query against the database, or am I wrong?
That would surprise me.
I see. Okay.
I'm not able to get a tab doodad on my phone. What the heck is this guy talking about? All right. Oh. Tease. Oh, wait. What does this do? Oh, yeah, that does things. It's been said that if you have input fields without or inside the form tag means you will get next button as tab button. Okay. It's hard to parse as English. I'll try one more thing. A lot of people want to do this. Oh, you can replace your keyboard app. You could put something in your dictionary. No. Yeah, I guess this recommendation has come up twice. There's evidently an alternative keyboard app that knows how to do tab. So it's not completely impossible. Do you guys know about using 4 eyeballs for production changes? Does that mean anything to anybody?
No. We only had 3 eyeballs.
Sorry, I'm lost again.
6 eyeballs.
So this is warm up to saying, shall I deploy this in production? If so, I want somebody to wait around and watch me do it.
The question is, people who are using the mobile app on the app today, are they going to be totally disabled by this?
I just
Are
heard.
they going to be what?
Go, David.
So, sorry, Jim, I didn't get your question.
Okay, the fact that the mobile app lacks functionality at this point, are we downgrading? Are people able to use the mobile app currently?
I think with this new theme, it's much better to use the mobile. It's much better for mobile users than the previous theme.
You think the inability to scroll doesn't hinder?
I don't.
If there's an issue, there's an issue of interest. By clicking on the issue, you should see every information that you want to access.
Okay, but you can't do searches and things. I guess that's okay.
Well, but the existing thing is worse. This is not a regression.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm just bringing up possible concerns.
It's a good question. That's why I want 4 eyeballs.
Yeah, it's my job to be contrary, but I love the new interface. I think it's going to be wonderful, and I think I certainly vote to go with it.
All right.
Dan, what do you call that? You call that 4 eyeballs? Is that like 4 eyeballs?
Yeah. The 2-man rule is.
David, we're not going to go in. We're not going to go there.
Okay.
No, just kidding. Right. 4 eyeballs is 2 people.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, like when you're launching a nuclear weapon, you probably want somebody to make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with developing collective intelligence across the collective requires the peer-to-peer links for that collective intelligence to emerge. If you just have one person,
Right.
You don't have the collective intelligence is not making the decision. Kind of like we're here yielding to our collective intelligence because we have more than 4 eyeballs on this.
Oh, maybe we moved it. Okay, anyway, yeah. So it's to prevent mistakes and to diffuse knowledge. Okay. So that's the test environment. Stick that over there. This is the live environment, or production, whatever. And I'm going to put all that away. And our clues are.
Don't we want to commit this first?
Yeah.
I think we better commit it first. Otherwise, we won't know what source we have in production.
So, what?
Wow.
Oh, the config file is not checked in.
Okay, and the Zeta face.
Do you mind I do the commit?
So the Zeta face directory distribution directory where we put the modules is not checked in also.
Right. But this clue can go into the example config
Yeah.
along with this one. And where did we actually get the thing from? I already forgot.
Okay. Of course, we're taking a nap.
Oops. I don't have a README there. That's a bummer.
So I don't remember, Dan, how we got the distribution directories originally into the rewards test. We copied them over.
We used this YAML stuff.
YAML.
What's it called?
So, but you know,
It's like Puppet, but with Ansible. That's the one. Yeah, we used Ansible.
so do
I
we?
tried to make it so that this stuff could be automatically deployed. It was about 1/3 automatic and 2/3 hack and slash.
Okay, well, we still got some work to do there.
All right, so David, you wanted to do the commit. I think we've got what we need to commit.
Okay, well, we didn't quite work out the
Jump
thing
rope.
where we copy
Pick it up.
your .ssh config, right?
Git config, right?
Git config. Sorry.
Well, we sort of did. Going once. All right, I'll just resume. Oh, sadness. Whoa, what was that? My screen just stopped sharing. Was that on purpose? All right. Am I back? I think I am back.
Yes, you're back.
All right. That looks like stuff that's worth committing.
Not sure what I missed here. What have you done?
I did some git adds, and then I said, okay, git, what are we about to commit? And it says this stuff in the example configuration, and adding a README in the, somewhere it's supposed to be adding a README in the deploy directory. Why didn't it ask me who I am? Okay, well, it was.
I think you've already registered your account before.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were here, David, but what we did was, so I have my own, in my account, a thing like that, right?
Yes.
And if I copy that to the RChain git config, now if I commit as RChain, it's going to put my name there, right?
Is that for permissions issues?
No, this is when.
Yeah, this is for deploy. It was always putting my name in there because my git config was in the RChain directory.
Yeah, every commit has an author, and that in your ~/.commit config. This file is where git gets the author if I'm logged in as RChain. Okay. Then I have to scare up my. I guess we had a net split there on Zoom, something. I could push that way, but I think I'm going to pull from here. This is my desktop. And so I'm not in the right, I don't have the right thing checked out. So I'll go over to the prod branch. Probably don't have to do that yet anyway.
This didn't get pushed anywhere yet?
That's correct. I'm going to pull it to my desktop, and then I'm going to push it to GitHub, because pushing to GitHub from my desktop is all tidy. I mean, it's a well-worn path. Whereas if I was going to push it from here, I'd have to go get my password, which I don't have handy, and blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense?
I guess. I don't know how you can pull it. You can show me.
He's making a local copy, and he's gonna push it from his local machine.
Yeah, so I think I've got, maybe I don't have it set up as a remote.
Guys, I'm gonna need to leave, so I'll talk to y'all later. Nice to see you this morning.
See ya.
Okay, I don't have it. Remote, add, staging. It's not root, it's RChain. I don't know how to do that from this Emacs interface. Now I'm going to do fetch from elsewhere. Staging.
Sir, Dan, what are you doing now?
I'm pulling from the staging environment to my desktop.
Why don't you use the command line just so that we can see how that's done, or not sure how to do that?
Yeah, okay, let's see. So this is if I want to, pull or push from GitHub. This is if I want to pull or push from production. And so I just added staging as one of my remotes, and I just copied this line and replaced the relevant stuff. So now I'm going to do a get fetch from staging. I'm going to, rather than a poll, because fetch does not automatically merge, and that always makes me nervous. So before doing this, life looks like this. So I've got prod checked out, which agrees with origin. Oh yeah, origin is my GitHub stuff. Both paper cuts and prods and something else. Anyway, a lot of people are on this EA8 revision. So I'm going to fetch staging. Oh, right.
The drawers.
And I did it wrong.
Don't you have to say
Get out.
Rewards
put
test?
that in the water.
Yeah. So I'm doing that now, right?
Then staging, is it a branch?
No, it's a remote.
Okay.
Git has remotes and branches, and they're not the same thing, and that's just to confuse you. Well, it's they have meaning, but
All right, if you're going to push to your GitHub, that's called David.
yeah, and that's a remote. But that remote might have many branches on it.
Right. It has them all, right? No.
I don't know. So here's working with remotes, showing you remotes and stuff like that. So I'm going to fetch. So again, we are here, EA8. Okay. So we got several branches from that remote. So there's our new commit. So now I'm happy with what I got there. I'm going to go ahead and pull, which is good. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, well, okay.
So,
And this is going to advance my local branch, I think. Oh,
what's the difference between is there a difference between checkout and fetch?
yes.
And clone?
Unfortunately, yes, these are all different. Sometimes checkout works like revert, and sometimes it works like create a new branch. And let's see, checkout never works like clone. Pull and clone sometimes do the same thing, sometimes different. Yeah. Okay, so now my local prod branch, and I might as well advance paper cuts as well. Where did my paper cuts go? Oh, I don't have a paper cuts branch locally. Yeah, see. Okay, now if I push this to production, calling the branch prod was a bad idea. I think it's going to tell me that that end of the stick has already got. I can't push there because I'd be screwing up basic sort of somebody else's work, is what Git thinks. So it doesn't want me to push the prod while this guy's got prod checked out. So I have to briefly so this is going to screw things up real briefly. Okay. Wrong window. Okay, so now I can push prod over there. And we can see our responsive theme. Oh, our responsive theme. And now drum roll. That wasn't very exciting. Try again. Oh, I didn't change the config file. Whoa, wrong directory? Yes, very much so. So I have the code here, but this is just the example config with no password in it. But in practice, I actually have to edit this for it to take effect. We will do this. Oh, but that messes up something else. If I have Python doesn't like properties outside of sections, so if I don't comment this out, then the Python code falls over. It's really annoying. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I guess I should put it same place it is. So I save that. Drum roll. Sadness. Oh, didn't install the module.
SCP.
Yeah, first I want to unscrew this thing up. Uh-oh.
Disable G2I. Aren't you supposed to uncomment that?
I don't think it'll make any difference. Well, as I said, I can't have stuff outside of a section or because the Python code will fall over.
Okay.
Line 15. Maybe I'm supposed to use these. Seemed to work there. Okay, at least it's not screwed up now.
Greetings, Andrew.
Yeah, greetings, bro. Hello.
We're just installing an update to the bounty system, changing the theme,
Okay.
and it's just putting it in production now. We tested it on rewards-test.robot.net, and it looks
Oh,
major improvement. I
I
hope
see.
Drum roll.
this is the old one. Reload.
Okay.
That
Uh-oh.
wasn't very exciting.
It looks like it didn't change. What's this?
That was the trust network thing, which is also broken. Now I don't see what's wrong. Now we'll just randomly start restarting things.
Did you do a shift reload?
I did, I think. No. Oh, I guess disable G2 might be necessary. Or maybe I could. Wonder if we're using Zeta jacks somehow. Let's try it up here. Still losing. Oh, no, winning. So the guy wasn't kidding. That'll break all the Python code that tries to read this stuff. I can fix that. It's pretty annoying though. The first screen is kind of disappointing. Sure, I don't know why this stuff is taking so much space, you know?
What was that?
What's that?
You said what's taking so much space?
The top menu bar. Oh.
All this space here is wasted.
Well, some people like white space.
I wonder what those prefs were about. Ooh. Icon. Let's try icon list and see if that makes things smaller a little bit. pick one more icon. Something that looks like a person. Oh, icon user. See if this does anything interesting. Still takes up a lot of space. And now the fave icon is gone, and this, you know, so that stuff's been kind of reverted. Oh, this is kind of nice.
I think the custom style.css file doesn't take is not activated in this theme.
Clearly.
So probably you have to make changes to the default CSS file here.
Okay, that's a big file. I don't want to edit that one.
Then I just saw something in the in one of your comments. You wrote February 2018. I think we might want to change that to 17, maybe some other time.
It says 2018 right there.
Okay, but the file you opened before this one was showing 17.
Well, different files have different ages, but the overall, the most recent commit in the whole thing is.
Okay.
And then I gave the cryptographic hash, which allows you to, you know, that allows you to detect a change in any byte in the history of the project.
Okay.
So I don't like editing the other guy's code because it'll get wiped away. But I forget where he. Ah, there it is. Now we don't have an XF logo. Any idea how we? Maybe I put it in. I don't know what I did here to get the XF logo thing. There's supposed to be a template save face logo. Oh well, I don't remember how I did the logo. Maybe another day. I would like to make these things smaller. I don't understand why. Are you guys still interested to tinker with this?
You could check it out on yeah, developer tools. Yeah. You opened it on another window.
Okay, so somebody wanted it display inline, but they got overruled.
If you're looking for the logo, I think you'll find it in the modules, images.
Yeah, show the logo small.jpg. But the real estate is different that it uses, you know?
That one?
Yes. Yes, I think this is it.
And ours is what, just at the top level?
Yes. Just image Zataface 213/images.
No, I think it's just at the top level.
I guess you have to scroll down a bit, huh?
You have to adjust the shape and
Yeah, the size.
the and height.
Do you have a space there? You don't you want? Weird.
It still seems like a lot of space to use up.
You can't read the text either.
You mean when I'm editing?
No, on the screen, the title's gone. Oh, it's blue. It's very faint. Yeah, I can't see it on your screen.
All this text down here?
No, in the top black area.
Oh, is there text up there?
Yeah, highlight it.
Yeah, I think the login is there.
No, I don't know. There's no text up there.
Click and
Okay, maybe you need to make your screen full screen. Yeah.
That looks fine.
let me check. Let me see. RChain bounty budget and reward beta is the text that's there.
No?
What happened? Oh, I'm in the rewards test here. So we had text there before.
You mean in the navigation?
I mean, if we look at rewards test, we can see the RChain bounty budget and rewards.
Yeah, okay. That is the same issue with the config file. Because the rewards test doesn't, none of the Python code works. Since none of the Python code is going to work anyway because of the G2 thing, yeah. And we're out of beta. We've been using this thing in production for quite some time now.
Right. Well, oh, now you got the, okay, you got it back now, but so we're okay.
Well, we're okay, except that none of the Python code is going to work. So if I would go to do this, and it's going to fall over. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because the Python code still has a cache of the config file, but if I restart the Python code, it'll lose. The Python code does not like settings before a section heading. I can fix that. But anyway. Mostly I don't want these things at the top to take so much room.
Put them at the bottom.
Horizontal tables menu. I wonder if I say 0, what happens there? Oh, I like that.
What did it do? Oh, okay. Got navigation on the side now. That's better.
How do we feel about taking the notice out?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't see how you moved the navigation website, but I'll probably just watch the video again.
He just set it to 0.
Horizontal tables menu is one of the options on that thing. It can be 0 or 1. It used to be 1 when I set it to 0. We got this.
Okay. 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 I think it looks much better.
Yeah, much happier. All right, so then I do want to have voting trouble still in there. See how that does. Because it syncs a bunch of stuff.
What? I'm sorry.
The current thing. I wonder if I could find a better place for this stuff. I really don't want admin settings in the thing. Why don't I just take it out?
Is it?
These things are still not happy.
Yeah. Can we take them out or put them at the bottom?
I hope so. Yep. What does I want to find? Result list actions. So all these custom hacks in his stuff, I really should have, I guess I should fork his thing, huh? Where'd it go? Okay. There's a pref for use old result list controller. I forget. If not, I don't know which way is default. That's not very good. Define slot results list. What? Result list. I'm having trouble reading this.
What are you trying to do now? I don't know. I'm lost again.
We're trying to get this to not take up so much space by perhaps moving it to the bottom. And result list actions. I guess the result list I don't want to move because that's probably this big table.
That's what I would assume. But you want this is printing before the result list. You want to print it after the result list.
Yeah.
Did you say this was your hack to add these things?
We're looking at the responsive template now. And I'm saying, since we're editing it, I should clone it and, so we can version control our changes. But for now, we're in hack and slash mode. Block name equals after list, result list content. Maybe that's where I want to put it. I'm making this up. Hey.
Yippee. Okay. I think it's it's really good that we did this today before we started this month's video on using the reward system.
Huh. I want to pick a few more icons. Where were the icons? They were over here. So for budget,
How about the money bag? Where's the money bag? Control F, money.
okay.
So they don't have the money bag.
I don't have anything for issue. But we could choose some kind of like, okay.
Reward could be like a medal or something.
Magic? Oh, gift?
Yeah, that could work.
Where is gift?
There.
Okay, okay.
Oh, there's the icon comment alt. It really should be something more like a task, but oh. Anyway. Icon tag, I kind of like that. Oh, that's for labels. Certifications, we can use heart.
Can't we use pass mark for certifications?
Use which?
I think icon OK.
Wonder what ratings would be.
Scale?
Nothing by that word. Oh, we could do icon OK circle. Oh.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to grab something. Put in my belly.
You're looking for which?
These are the ones I have not chosen.
Okay.
was it? So invoice summary has to be something that doesn't look like a calendar. The default icon looks like a calendar, unfortunately. It's a table, but it looks like a lot too much like a calendar.
You said it doesn't, or it has to be.
Well, I would like these two to be more distinguished. I think I'm going to use list alt for invoice summary. Just to make it look different. And then these two. I could do forward and fast forward.
We could still use icon money for budget votes.
Yeah, I was going to avoid using the same thing for same icon for more than one thing, but I guess it's not the end of the world. Actually, these comments alt look like votes in a way. Or thumbs up. Oh, icon comments. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there's another UL. Darn it.
Aren't we supposed to not be hacking in production?
Yes, I'm busted. So what do I usually do? Issue.
Oh boy.
I wonder if I can get to the issue from here. No. Boring. But you can see the budget votes that support it. Seven, 6, 7. Issue. All right. Now I should fix the actual bug.
Okay, what is that? What bug is that?
Yeah.
Should I call you when I get home?
It's this one.
Okay.
So this stuff. Ugh, I don't know if I have the energy to do this kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna call it a day.
All right.
It's a day. I guess you're going to commit this stuff, and we'll try it out and test.
All right. don't know if I can push to something that doesn't exist.
I'm not sure why you wouldn't commit it from production. No?
Oh, I'm just practicing this dance here.
It's scary.
Um, Because if I push to modules eGrappler in production, that'll erase the changes. So I do want to push there, but only after I've committed the changes. So I'm going to try to send the thing over in a bundle. And
You're scaring me again.
you can take a whole Git repository and make it into a file.
Yeah. Well, the images are a problem, right?
Not as far as I know.
Images are a problem in the patch.
Right. Yeah, and there's a flag you can do to fix that too. Anyway, okay, so Git bundle. Oh, bundle create. All right. Oh, I can just do. Oh, there's a port. I wonder if I can just do. Any chance that'll work? Oh, nice. Consulted the same config file. All right. Yay. Now, how do I think I clone it. Ah. All right, so now in root's home directory, I've got another copy. And
What is going on here?
well, I took the whole history of the project, made it into one file, copied the file to the production machine. And then I checked it out, or I cloned it and I checked out the master branch. And so now I have a pristine copy of this stuff, right? So now if I copy all the work we just did,
We were working in production, right?
right?
No, that's where we are.
I copy all the work we did here. Well, that was awfully fast.
Yeah, it's a lot faster from the command line than from Windows.
Oh, crud. It went to the wrong place, though. All right. I don't want it to go. Okay, so this means go into that directory, make a tar backup of everything to standard out, and then on standard in, untar it. There. This is the work we did. So we have a default.css that I didn't save. What was that about? No, that was not useful.
What was that?
That was a something that's not useful. I think that will get rid of our changes in that area. Nope, it didn't. Oh, there's no hash mark again. All right. Get rid of the Emacs turds. Oh, those are in templates. Actually, git ignore star tilde. Those are Emacs backup files. If I had to tell you, next guy. not staged for commit. So we moved the actions to the bottom, and we changed the logo, right? I guess those are.
The icons. Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. So the icons, oh, that's in a different repository. Okay. The only difference between these two should be secrets. So to the extent that there's other differences, I'm just trying to get rid of diffs. All right, that one's not worth resolving. Okay. These are the kind of secrets things that should be different. All right. What? Oh, right. I changed all those comment markers. Ooh, can't read that.
So you copied the all the plus signs in here from the difference?
No, I sort of did at one point, but then I edited them out. This is just showing the changes from the example configuration before to the changes to the example configuration now.
Okay.
So we added all these icons, lines. We changed the comment markers there. Took admin settings out. Probably I should move this back here, up here. Make the diff smaller or easier to read. Right.
Um,
So now we have so the only difference between the copy of my home directory and the copy in production is basically the .git stuff. So suppose I do this.
Git ignore should be should be added.
Yeah, it's in the copy of my home directory. So what I'm proposing to do is now, since the stuff in my home directory is essentially the same and it's checked in, I'm proposing to remove the unchecked in copy and then clone the stuff in my home directory to this. Or I could just say move it out of the way. that good? Going once, twice. All right. Right, so now we can get rid of egrep or hack and slash. Life still looks good here. All right. Now I want to push these things out to GitHub. Want to see how I did the, yeah. So now I've got the changes on my desktop. Which is ahead of GitHub. Now let's see if I have. All right, so that one's at responsive 3.13 EE. Oh, so this is newer. Got config settings for mobile stuff. So I have some local changes here. Not really. In Mercurial, you can say, if I pushed, what would I push? But you can't do that with Git.
I can see Git is going to be something you have to tackle.
There, let's see. Oh, not a Git. Benedita really strongly endorsed one of these. Oh yeah, I think it was this one. I wonder if you can get the whole table of contents. Oh, this is where I thought this was some sort of Git history display. This is the chapters in the book here. So it's a tutorial that where they give you a goal and then you have to type the Git commands to do it. And it's got lots of hints along the way and stuff.
Learning branching, huh?
That's not what I've used. What I've used is, you know, pulling my hair out in frustration, searching Google and hitting Stack Overflow.
Yeah.
About, you know, 2,000 times to get to where I am, which is, I'm still mystified.
Yeah, we just need those, the few simple things that someone needs to know to participate in development. We have to make that as simple as possible.
Yeah, I guess I go through more hoops because I'm not interested in typing my GitHub password, but maybe that's probably the simpler way to go about it. I can also see a way that I could use my SSH key there too. Anyway, yeah, I didn't do it the simplest way.
All right, well, shall we call it a day now? Any final word from anyone?
You asking me?
I could put notes in, well, never mind.
Well, Dan has been working all day. If he's tired, we could call it a day.
Yeah. Would have been nice to take better notes, but anyway.
All right, folks, have a good one. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye, Jim.
Hey, Jason, Andrew.
Bye.
Hopefully we get more questions from you next time.
Hopefully. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.